Okay, so back in 2007, we had our 2007 we had our land designation. It wasn't an easy process, having to have band meetings, community meetings to inform the people, the band members, about what was going to be happening, how long it was going to take. The whole process, like I said, I started in 2003. In 2013, we did have 2 businesses open up on our development. Now, the land designation did, by the time it went through, it was July 28th, 2008, which designated about 300 acres of property on the other side of our Trans-Canada Highway. The Trans-Canada divides our community right down the middle. Back in 1998, I think they built a bridge with no ramps, no on and off ramps. So I had to go to the province and request the ramps in order to start, because without the on and off ramps, the development wasn't going to see. Those ramps were very, very important. The referendum went through, so that was a victory for the band members. There was a little problem in reference to the referendum because we had designated too much land. Our band members weren't happy with the proposed amount of land, but INAC suggested to just keep it that way. And then when it was designated commercially, it was a lot easier to just sign a paper to undesignate it than to have it designated back. The process takes so much time. So they did that, which luckily we did succeed in getting the referendum passed, but by a very close margin. So that's one thing I do urge most communities that do this, make sure that it is the amount that makes the band members happy. We didn't need that much land, but it was just easier for INAC, and if there's people from INAC in the room, apologize, but that's what you guys did. Anyways, so the approval between, it became official on November the 6th, 2008, and we drafting of the agreement took place on December 1st, 2008. And then 2010, there was a referendum for the ramps, because once you designate your land and the province decides to give you these ramps, you have to designate the property that they're going to take for the ramps, because they won't build it if it's on your own property. They have to sign over that portion of the land where the ramps are going to be to the province, which is okay with us because then they have to take care of them and we don't. So that was fine, and that went very, very well within our community. And then the approval in principle came in 2011, which the land was to hand over to the province, and then by 2012, I believe, the order in council, which allowed the province to come in and build the ramps. Now, the process to get the ramps was also a very long process, because, you know, you go to the province, you say you want ramps, they say, sure, we'll give it to you when we get the money. That took 3 years before they finally had the money. And then in order to get the ramps, we had to prove that there was businesses coming, which is very, very difficult to get somebody to sign a paper saying, yes, we're going there, when you don't even have the ramp first. So it's, you know, which comes first, the chicken or the egg thing. You know, that was a difficult process, but we were able to get commitments from 2 businesses, which allowed us to go to the provinces. So we do definitely have 2 businesses if you built the ramp. So basically that's how that process went. It wasn't smooth riding all the way. It is up and down battle through the process, but patience is a virtue when it comes to this. It doesn't happen overnight. I believe I heard the chief say something about 10 years that they've been working, but that's because of the probably change of chief and councils, and you know, the ball gets dropped a little bit here and there. Fortunately, I was there for the 10 years to push it all the way through, and then it happened. And so that's another positive thing, you know, for the community members to understand that your leadership is very important in getting through this, because keeping the same administration for that period of time for it to happen, because, you know, I don't know, I know politics enough to know that next chief comes in, could just drop everything again, and then you're still back at square one. So very important to make a commitment that this is what you want and then support it all the way. Okay, so yes, so in 2013, I think it was early May, June. Yeah, it's May. I'm surprised I remember that. But we did have our grand opening of Grey Rock. At that point, we had a truck stop, and we didn't have the Tim Hortons in the truck stop. The truck stop was built with the idea that the Tim Hortons was coming. So now today we have a beautiful truck stop. It's one of the biggest in New Brunswick. We are at the gateway from Quebec into Atlantic Canada, so we do have a lot of traffic stopping, and we are very, very visible off the highway, so that's very important. Also, the visibility of your project, making sure that it's right there showcased for everybody to see. Oh, I need gas, I need coffee, I need food or whatever, so it's a one-stop stop for us on Grey Rock. I am the CEO of the corporation. A lot of people call me the CEO of Grey Rock Power Center, which is basically our main project. But as CEO of the corporation, I take care of band members looking to open businesses. I guide them to the different projects and programs that are available to help them also. And that being said, we've opened a few businesses with band members, and it's going very well. We support them in reference to education and helping them find funding. We do not take any money from the band funds to support the entrepreneurs, because I believe that everyone has an idea, and if that's the case, we'll be giving out $5,000 to everybody with an idea with nothing to back that up. So it's important that your entrepreneurs are serious to the point where they can start with a business plan to move forward. And having Aboriginal businesses in your community is very important. We do not have that many compared to the non-native businesses, but it's a relief to just lease the land and allow non-native businesses to operate, so we won't have that headache of operating 100 businesses, right? We want 100 businesses, but we don't want to have to operate them all. So non-natives coming in, the referendum releasing the land for commercial leasing is a process where the non-native and natives wishing to come to the community will sign a lease we do leases up to 99 years. It's very important to have long-term leases for businesses, because nobody's going to come into your community and invest $5 million in a building if it's not a long-term lease. The importance of the long-term lease is to allow these investors to come in and to be able to invest and hand that lease down to their grandchildren or resale. Now, resale for us, we did have a clause in our agreement where the First Nation is first right of refusal to purchase a business that's non-native. If the band wishes to buy it, then we would have the first right of refusal. If that's not the case, then if we don't want it, then it is up for grabs within the business community for anybody to buy, and they take that lease with the remaining maybe 20 years from now, so they'll have a remaining 79 years. So that still allows for long-term and allowing businesses to sell to natives or non-natives. So was that okay? So that was the Tim Hortons did open in the Madawaska Entertainment Center. That's another process that we went through in reference to having government agreements with the casino. We are the only native casino in New Brunswick. There is the casino down in Moncton, as I'm sure everyone's aware. It's going very well down there, but ours is dollar per dollar, going 10 times better. I think people like the idea that the First Nation gaming, for some reason, it goes hand in hand, and people come to the community looking for that Aboriginal flair within the casino, and we do have that. I don't know if anyone here has been to visit the casino, but it's like stepping out of Edmundston. When you step inside, you got all that casino vibe going on, and we're drawing people from northern Maine, from Quebec, into those casinos, and it's going very, very well. So that was 2015, the opening of the Brick, and And then also, as I mentioned earlier about the non-native businesses, we did have Ford, a local franchise, Ford Canada, open a beautiful showcase warehouse, or what is it, showroom, and beautiful garage. So now he started out down in Edmundston at sales of 13 million, but just to show you where location is important, he was hoping to going up there, building his $4 million building and bringing his sales up to 16 million. Within the first year hasn't even passed. Actually, it just happened in January. It's been 12 months. But he's passed the $20 million in sales. I'm not sure if in reference to the leasing of the land, we're fair market value, we're doing very well in collecting, and people are paying, and the money is going to trust to the First Nation, and that money has helped in tremendous ways for our First Nation, whether percentages put towards housing, percentages put towards education, economic development, health. So the addition of your own source revenues is so important. As we all know, the government just there's not enough in the budget to supply First Nations adequate funding for all their departments. So the importance of having your in-house resources is should be on the top of everybody's list. It's the only way to survive. Without it, you just go deeper and deeper in debt. So important to make sure that you have some of your in-house resources or what's it called? Your own resources, basically, to be able to subsidize the programs for the funding. With it, and you can, if you look around and you look at all the other communities that do have that, you see how they're prospering. So it's so important for your band members to support this project for now and in the future. We also opened a food court. We have in our food court, it's three restaurants in the food court. We have the Saint Hubert Chicken, which is a Quebec franchise. We have the Burger King, and we have a Subway. Very, very nice food court. We have the Aboriginal flair in that too. We're getting buses like crazy coming in too, because we do have the Aboriginal flair in there. We have our birch bark canoes that we made. We have them on display there. Some native art, Maliseet art that from around the province of New Brunswick in the food court. So the art is all there in the food court, showing and displaying the culture for the Maliseet. And then, of course, in the spring this year, we will be starting our hotel. It should be up. It's coming in modules, so that shouldn't take more than a few months, according to what they tell me. So hopefully by Christmas we'll have our hotel adjacent to our casino. The Madawaska First Nation is also going into land to what's it called now? I'm blank for words. What is it? My chief is negotiating land claims. Sorry, wow. Okay, so anyways, once that, and we're on the road to that, and that funding will also help the chief and council. We didn't want the band to open businesses. We feel that it kind of hinders we're not in the business, as a chief and council, you're in the business of administrating your First Nation, not businesses. So to have the corporation take care of your businesses, it's ideal. You don't get that politics involved, and it makes for better business. The chief and council are looking at opening an indoor water park, which there is none in New Brunswick, so that hopefully is going to bring us even more as a destination right off the highway. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the corporation and the board of directors. Our board of directors, as I mentioned earlier, the band members refused to have chief and council on the board. So we came up with a process where the smaller the board, the better. You have a large board, chances of getting stuff done are much more difficult. Small board of 7 board members. In Madawaska, we have 4 original families, the Francises, Bernards, Wallaces, and Simons. So basically what we did was we assumed that the best solution for us at a 7 board member, we would have 1 from each original family, 1 board member. We'd have a youth, an elder, and an off-reserve representative. Of course, the problem lies in making sure that the board members are qualified to be board members. So we do have a criteria to become a board member. And basically, you have to have had a degree of some sort in business or have run businesses, a business or businesses over the last 10 years. And then that would allow them to go and to try to be a board member, because we have elections every 3 years. And so our board stagnates. We don't do all 7 new board members. We do 3 1 year, 3 years later we do 4, and then the following 3 years we do 3 again. So just to stagnate the board members, you don't want to have new, just a whole new board with no experience. So this is one of the reasons why we did it that way. Over here you can see the development. Trans-Canada Highways, very prominent there. You can see the red rooftops are the truck stop, and the back part of the truck stop up in the back is where they stop, the truckers park. You can see the strip mall where the brick furniture store was just opened, and we just recently hired, we recently hired a leasing agent to help fill the strip mall. As the CEO, I guess the chief and council didn't want to pay a leasing agent, so they expected me to do that. I am not a leasing agent. I don't have those connections. I was able to bring in a few stores, but not as fast as the band members were hoping. So the chief and council did agree to hire a leasing agent, hopefully within the next year or 2, to fill the space in the strip mall. The strip mall consists of 13 units. The middle, if you can see where the L connects there, is the brick, which is 13,000 square feet. The whole mall altogether is about 58,000 square feet of renting space. Right in front of that, you'll see the casino right next to the truck stop. On the other side, I think this picture was taken prior to the food court being there. I don't know. Oh, I can't see here. So this is when Ford had built, but you can't see the food court here. It's in between. Now this is the picture of the food court. There's the Ford gas garage. There's the Grey Rock Casino, and there's our truck stop, which consists of the Tim Hortons and a local entrepreneur that opened a restaurant called La Pirate, the Pirate. And it is a seafood restaurant where our fish goes to the entrepreneur. He buys it, and we cut out the middleman, so we have the best lobster rolls in New Brunswick. Sorry to say, you got a lot of lobster meat, anyways, cutting out the middleman. This is our strip mall there. I think, oh yeah, you can see the brick in the corner. The pylon, and the band just donated to the casino this 800-year-old cedar tree coming out of BC that was carved by the artist in BC. Even though the story on the totem pole is Maliseet, it's all about our community, but it was carved by the natives from British Columbia. And then there's the pylon, or the little sign for Maliseet Mall. Nothing compared to this sign, because this sign, when we put it up in 2013, was the biggest sign in Atlantic Canada, until someone came along and added 5 extra feet on their sign, so now we're not the biggest sign. And this is a whole the whole development. You see the maquis here. We're on our second one. We started with this size one, we had it, but things changed, so it's important to update your maquette. I don't know how to say that in English. We've updated ours because we started with this size, not knowing exactly where the ramps were going to be and stuff. So, and then updating it to keep the community and the business people who come in up to date. So this is where you could see here. It looked like there was just one lot here. So basically, we had to cut this up. Now, Ford is right here. So like I'm saying, it's important to update, so I'm showing you something that's not that accurate or updated, but we will have to do that soon. I think it tells you on, no, it doesn't tell you the update, but I have it at my office. I know I have some work to do, but, so the truck stop, the Ford is right here, and this lot up here is the food court. The land down here it became a problem because when we did our referendum for the ramps, we gave them too much land. And the land that they don't need is right here, and it's ideal location for, so now we have to do another referendum to zone that commercially after they give it back. So we were told to give them that amount of land that they were going to return it back to us, but it's been like 4 years. So very important when you're doing your designations to ensure it's the right size of the property so you're not stuck with like we had to do. We have to now bring it back to us, and then when it gets back to us, we have to zone it commercially, and then we'll be able to lease it. But prior to that, it's a beautiful location that we can't touch. Because I think, I don't know if there is another picture. The next shot's a video? Okay, so it doesn't show it there. But we did give up too much land to the province, but just a word of caution that when you do that, make sure that it's the right amount. I think it was between 3 to 4 acres. It wasn't a lot, but it does need to be surrendered in order for them to own it, because they won't build on your land. So that was something to think about for the future, but making sure that it's the right size and the right amount, because they hadn't had the plans done at that time. We surrendered the land, but there was no official plans. So that's why we gave them a little more than a little less. But in doing that, now we're working to get it back. And that land right there is ideal. I got everybody off who wants that particular lot because it's right there, right off the ramp. You said there's a video? Okay.